Currently in the United States of America, we have a problem. We have hundreds of individuals who are repeatedly committing life-altering crimes. Nothing has been done to stop them. They have stolen millions from Americans, and many even applaud them for doing it. I am, of course, talking about insider trading within our legislative branch. The United States government needs to enact a bill making insider trading illegal for representatives. For those of you unaware, insider trading, as defined by Investopedia author Dara Abbasi Ita in 2024, is the practice of buying or selling a company's securities based on material, non-public information. So to break that down into simpler terms, insider trading is selling a stock based on information that the rest of the country does not have access to yet. A recent example of this was an employee who worked at Goldman Sachs in their mergers department. There was two defense companies who were going to merge together, and he knew it, so he called up a friend of his and he had them buy stocks from both of these companies because both of their stocks were going to rise once the merger went through. This is insider trading because you and I don't have access to the information that these two companies are going to merge, and he was uniquely in a position where he could take advantage of this. But we have a system in place by the SEC to catch people who do this and prosecute them. However, as of currently, we do not have a good system in place for representatives who do this based on information presented to them for making new bills. As of currently, there's an act called the Stock Act, put into place in 2012, and it, by definition, makes insider trading illegal for representatives. However, the penalty for insider trading is a fine ranging from $200 to $500. This is a tiny amount. In lots of cases, this is less than a speeding ticket, and it's far less than the amount that they are making off of this insider trading. And when a fine is less than the benefit from committing the crime, it's not a fine anymore, it's a tax. In order to change this though, we need new legislation to go through the legislative branch, which is the branch that is directly profiting from the lack of legislation. As such, nothing is being done about the problem currently, and no solution has been put in place yet. But what is the damage that this is causing? How is this hurting millions of Americans? Well, the stock market does not print money. When I put $50 into a stock and it rises and I pull $100 out, I did not just magically make an extra $50. In order for that to happen, somebody eventually will have had to lose $50. That becomes a bit of a problem because if somebody is insider trading, they have information that I don't have, and they are using that to, through a series of loops, steal from Americans. But how do we even know that US representatives are insider trading? How do we know that these trusted public servants are using this information that they have to their own personal benefit? Well, according to Yahoo Finance author Marco Quiroz Gutierrez, in an article entitled "Members of Congress Outperformed the S&P 500, sometimes by huge amounts," published in 2024 about the 2023 fiscal year, 33 out of 100 representatives who were willing to make their stock portfolios public beat the S&P 500. Now, to be clear, there's 535 representatives in the legislative branch, and only 100 of them were even willing to make their portfolios public, and of these 133 of them beat the S&P 500. Now, what is the S&P 500? The S&P 500 is also known as the Standard & Poor's 500, and it is a index fund that collects stock where you put money in and it buys small portions of 500 companies. and it's spread across many different fields so that if something bad happens in the tech sector and all tech sector stocks take a tank, money in the pet food sector could still be going up. So it helps to alleviate any pain from one particular market crashing. Now, 33 out of 100, that means 66 of them didn't beat the S&P 500. So I guess there can't be anything wrong here, right? Well, according to NGPF author Dave Martin, published in 2024, based on their research of investment professionals, only 7% of them beat the market. 7%, that is, beat index funds, also known as the S&P 500. So if only 7% of investors are beating the index funds, and 33% of the representatives we know of are beating them, what could this mean? Are we simply electing our best and most talented investors to serve as public servants in Congress? Possibly. But a far more likely cause for them to be doing 4.5 times better than the best investors is that they have access to information that the best investors don't have access to. But there's a law in place to stop these representatives from doing this, called the Stock Act. And while it only carries a $200 to $500 fine, that's still a punishment, right? Not really. Only 2 representatives have ever been charged with a crime under this Stock Act, and only one of them was convicted, going by the name of John Rutherford, according to the Wikipedia on John Rutherford, updated in 2024. John Rutherford violated this law 157 times. So 157 times he traded based on information that he had access to because he was a representative. So he must have gotten a really large fine for this, of course. Yes, he did. He got fined $800. $800. That, once again, is far less than many speeding ticket traffic violations. And this is a large financial crime that is being committed. Something needs to be done to stop this. I believe that the federal government needs to pass a bill making it so that all representatives are under the Insider Trading Act bill that is in effect for the average citizen, and that representatives can only sell stocks right after a recess begins. Let's break this plan down a bit. Currently, for any CEO or high executive leader of a company, let's go with Walmart. If he wants to sell stocks, there's blackout zones where he's allowed to do this, which they are often right after a profit report from the company. So right after he's made all of the company's information public, he is then allowed to sell his shares of the company because he no longer has insider information. This same rule should be in effect for representatives. The enforcement for this bill would be the SEC, and I propose that we should fund them with $3 billion more so they can investigate cases like this and more cases of normal corporate insider trading. This plan will solve the insider trading problem because it will serve as actual deterrence for once from committing crimes and getting away with it. This deterrence will cause representatives to think twice, 3 times, or 4 times before committing insider trading, and if they do it, there will truly be punishment for it. This thought and this lessonment of representatives committing insider trading will help to protect the dollars that average Americans are investing into the stock market, and will stop so many negative trickle-down effects that this has. In the year of 2022, the SEC brought forth 43 insider trading cases against 91 defendants. they are capable of finding insider trading, even through the hazy corporate world. If we increase funding to the SEC, they will be able to find legislators who are committing insider trading, and they will be able to stop them. In conclusion, the only way to have a fair market is for everyone to be on a level playing field, and the first step towards that is banning Congress from insider trading. Thank you.